Did you know that something like half of adults over 65 say they often feel tired, low energy?
Half. That's a
Yeah.
lot of people feeling drained.
It really is. And it makes you think, take a quick mental look around your own kitchen, maybe peek inside your pantry right now. What are those everyday things you always keep stocked?
Yeah, and how often do we really stop and consider how those go-to items might actually be affecting how we feel, especially, as we get a bit older?
Exactly. We grab things because they're easy, they're familiar, but those choices, they can really stack up, can't they?
They absolutely can, subtly impacting things without us always realizing it.
And that's really what we want to get into today. We're going to talk about some of those, well, really common pantry staples that might be quietly working against you.
Things could be draining your energy, maybe making joints feel a bit achier.
Uh-huh. Or just generally not helping you feel your best. But look, don't worry. This isn't about some, crazy complicated diet overhaul.
No, not at all. It's about simple swaps, easy little adjustments to things you probably already buy.
Things that can make a real noticeable difference in your day-to-day energy and well-being.
It's truly amazing how small, consistent tweaks, based on just a bit more awareness, can lead to feeling so much better over time.
Couldn't agree more. So hey, if learning some simple ways to boost your energy and just feel better, all starting with your pantry shelves, sounds good to you.
Then definitely hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, please do. We've got lots more practical tips like this coming your way. Okay, ready to dive in.
Let's do it. Where should we start?
Let's start with what we might call the never-haves, or maybe, perhaps, the think twice items.
Huh. Yeah, think twice is good. Those things that maybe seem fine, maybe even healthy on the surface.
Right, but they could be hiding some pitfalls. And this first one, it might catch a few people off guard.
This category is a perfect example of how marketing can sometimes lead us down the wrong path. We see certain words.
Like whole grain on breakfast cereals. That's our first one. You see whole grain, you think, great, fiber, healthy start.
That's the perception, absolutely. And whole grains are good, fundamentally. They offer fiber, nutrients.
What?
But the issue arises when these cereals are also loaded, and I mean loaded, with added sugars and often refined flours, preservatives too.
Right. So even with some whole grain present, those added sugars are the real troublemakers, aren't they? Especially for older adults.
Definitely. They cause that rapid spike in blood sugar. You feel okay for a minute, maybe?
And then the crash comes. And that up and down cycle isn't great for steady energy.
Not at all. Plus, it contributes to inflammation throughout the body.
Ah, inflammation.
Hi.
That seems to pop up everywhere when we talk about health as we age.
It does. And there's quite a bit of research linking higher sugar intake to increased inflammation markers like C-reactive protein.
Okay, and that kind of chronic inflammation that's connected to things like arthritis pain, heart issues.
Exactly. Arthritis, heart problems, even cognitive stuff like memory. It's all interconnected. I believe there was a study, maybe in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging, that specifically showed that link.
So it's not just the energy crash, it's this underlying inflammatory process being fueled.
Precisely. And it's tricky because sugar hides, doesn't it? It's not just labeled sugar.
Oh, yeah. You see things like maltodextrin, corn syrup solids, evaporated cane juice.
All code words for added sugar. It makes it really hard to track how much you're truly getting.
Especially difficult if you're managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, trying to keep blood sugar stable. These healthy cereals can sabotage that.
Absolutely. You're trying to do the right thing, but the ingredients work against you. So definitely check those labels carefully.
Okay, so that's number one. Watch out for those sugary whole grain cereals. Now let's move to another pantry staple. Something convenient, comforting. Can the soups.
Ah, yes. The classic cupboard standby. Great for a quick lunch or, when you don't feel like cooking much.
Totally. But, and there's often a but, many of them have a couple of hidden issues. We're talking high sodium and often preservatives.
The sodium is often, well, shockingly high. It's not uncommon to see over 800 milligrams in just one serving.
800 milligrams, wow. And what's the recommended daily limit again, especially for older adults?
The American Heart Association suggests aiming for under 1,500 milligrams a day if you're over 60. So one bowl of soup could easily be more than half your day's allowance.
That's concerning, particularly if you're watching your blood pressure or have any heart concerns.
It really puts a strain on the system. And then there are the other things often added.
Like preservatives, MSG, artificial thickeners.
Exactly. These can potentially, for some people, trigger inflammation or even disrupt gut health. And we know gut health is so tied to our immune function.
So that simple, maybe seemingly healthy bowl of soup could actually be, well, not so helpful in the long run.
It's definitely worth scrutinizing those labels. Look for lower sodium options, ones with fewer additives. The convenience is tempting, but it's a trade-off.
Okay, good advice. Check the labels on those soups. So we've covered sugary cereals, salty soups. What's next on our think twice list?
Let's talk about snacks. Specifically things like flavored crackers and those snack packs, often marketed as low-fat.
Ah, the low-fat trap. I think many of us fell for that one back in the day.
It's such clever marketing, isn't it? Low-fat sounds inherently healthier. We think, oh, this is light, guilt-free.
Right. Grab a handful of those crackers, maybe some light cookies. But what happens when they take the fat out?
Well, fat carries flavor and texture. So to make them palatable, they often replace the fat with refined starches, various additives, and yes, often hidden sugars again.
So we end up back at that same problem. Blood sugar spikes and crashes.
Exactly the same pattern. You get a quick burst, then fatigue sets in. And those refined carbs and processed ingredients also fuel inflammation.
Affecting joints, energy,
Right.
even brain function.
Yeah, there's evidence linking diets high in refined carbs and processed snacks to increased inflammation markers and poor cognitive performance, especially in older adults. I think the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published something on this.
And here's the other sneaky part. Because they're labeled low fat or light, we sometimes feel like we can eat more of them, right?
Precisely. It's easy to overeat them because they don't provide lasting satiety. They lack the fiber, the healthy fats, the protein that actually fills you up and nourishes you.
So you end up in this cycle, eating more, getting less nutrition, and just feeling kind of blah afterwards.
It's a trap of low nourishment and fleeting energy. Not a great combo.
Okay, so that's a good rundown of things to perhaps limit or avoid. The sugary cereals, the super salty soups, and those deceiving low-fat snacks.
Definitely things to be mindful of.
Right. But let's shift gears now. Let's talk about the good stuff, the pantry heroes, the must-haves that can actually support your health and energy.
Yes. Let's focus on the positives, the things we should be stocking up on.
And our first must-have is small but mighty. We're talking about raw, unsalted walnuts, or, as an alternative, ground flax seeds.
Fantastic choices. Walnuts are just packed with goodness.
They really are, especially those omega-3 fatty acids, right? We hear a lot about those.
We do, and for good reason. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. They help calm chronic inflammation, system-wide joints, arteries, even support brain health and memory.
And walnuts aren't just about omega-3s, are they?
No, they also bring antioxidants to the table, plus fiber and plant-based protein. It's a great combination for heart health, keeping your mind sharp, and providing that steady, sustained energy we're looking for.
Is there research on walnuts specifically for older adults?
Yes, definitely. There was a study, I think it came out fairly recently, maybe 2023, in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging. It showed improvements in blood vessel function and even cognitive scores in seniors who ate walnuts daily.
Wow, okay. So a handful of walnuts is a pretty powerful snack. And if walnuts aren't your thing, or maybe for variety?
Ground flaxseed is an excellent alternative. Also rich in omega-3s, specifically ALA, and loads of fiber.
And easy to use.
Super easy. You just sprinkle the ground seeds, make sure they're ground. That helps absorption onto oatmeal, yogurt, blend them into smoothies. A tablespoon or two goes a long way.
Great. So walnuts or ground flaxseed for those anti-inflammatory omega-3s and steady energy. What's next on the must-have list?
Let's talk about something incredibly versatile and often underrated. Beans. Specifically, low-sodium BPA-free canned beans.
Beans, the magical fruit.
Yeah.
But seriously, they are nutritional powerhouses, aren't they?
They absolutely are. So affordable, shelf-stable, and packed with fiber, plant protein, magnesium, potassium.
Yeah.
Really valuable stuff.
But the keywords there are low sodium and BPA-free, right? Why is that so important?
Well, the sodium we already discussed with soups, regular canned beans can be loaded with salt. And BPA, or bisphenol A, is a chemical sometimes found in can linings. There are concerns it can disrupt hormones and potentially contribute to inflammation.
Okay, so choosing cans specifically labeled BPA-free avoids that potential issue. And low sodium helps keep the salt in check.
Exactly. By making those simple choices on the label, you get all the fantastic benefits of beans without the downsides.
And those benefits include
helping to balance blood sugar levels thanks to the fiber and protein. They can help lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, and they're fantastic for digestion and gut health.
all really important things, especially as we navigate our later years.
For sure. And there's good evidence linking higher legume intake beans, lentils, peas with greater longevity and reduced risk of cardiovascular disease in adults over 60. A review in the Nutrients Journal highlighted this.
Fantastic. And so easy to add to meals, toss them in salads, add to soups or stews, mash them for a dip.
So many possibilities. A true pantry workhorse.
All right, so we have omega-3 rich walnuts or flax and low-sodium BPA-free beans. What's our final must-have for today?
Let's finish with a cornerstone of healthy eating, something that adds flavor and incredible health benefits. Extra virgin olive oil?
Olive oil, a classic. But not just any olive oil, right? It has to be extra virgin.
That's key. Extra virgin olive oil, or EVOO as some call it, is the least processed form. It retains the highest levels of anti-inflammatory compounds and antioxidants.
And those compounds are what make it so beneficial, beyond just being a healthy fat.
Absolutely. It contains something called oleocanthal, which actually has anti-inflammatory effects similar to ibuprofen, believe it or not.
Wow. Like a natural pain reliever.
In a way, yes, working on similar pathways, but without the side effects. It's also fantastic for heart health, helps support brain function, and studies suggest it can lower stroke risk.
That's incredibly powerful for just an oil. But getting the right kind matters, you said. What should we look for?
You want extra virgin, ideally cold pressed, which means no heat was used in extraction, preserving the delicate compounds. Look for dark glass bottles. Light degrades the oil.
Okay, dark glass bottle, extra virgin, cold pressed if possible. And how should we store and use it?
Store it away from heat and light, like in a cool pantry, not right next to the stove. And while you can cook with it gently, you get the maximum benefits using it for lower heat applications, salad dressings, drizzling over finished dishes, dipping bread. High heat can damage some of those beneficial compounds.
Got it. So use it more as a finishing oil or for gentle cooking. Excellent. This has been so insightful.
It's amazing what's hiding in plain sight in our kitchens, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Both the good and the not so good.
It really is. Okay, so just to quickly recap the must-haves. Those omega-3 powerhouses like raw walnuts or ground flaxseed.
Those nutrient-dense, low-sodium, BPA-free canned beans.
And that wonderful anti-inflammatory extra virgin olive oil in a dark bottle.
3 fantastic staples to prioritize.
Definitely. Now, we've covered a lot, and we'd love to make this interactive. So here's a question for everyone listening. What's the most surprising thing you learned today about your own pantry staples? Or maybe something you're now looking at differently?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Please do. I genuinely read through them. And sharing your experience might spark an idea or help someone else make a healthier choice, too. It's all about supporting each other.
Absolutely.
So the big takeaway here really is that what's sitting on your pantry shelves has a direct line to how you feel your energy, your joints, your immunity, even your focus and sleep.
It really does. But the encouraging part is that you don't need to feel overwhelmed or think you have to change everything overnight.
No, definitely not. Start small. Pick one swap. That's the key.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. So think of this as your simple pantry makeover mission, starting today if you like. Step 1, maybe identify one of those never-haves, or think twice items, the sugary cereal, the salty soup, the low-fat crackers, and decide to phase it out or replace it.
And step 2, consciously choose one of the must-haves to stock up on next time you shop. Grab those walnuts or flax seeds, pick up the low-sodium BPA-free beans, invest in a good bottle of extra virgin olive oil.
Think of these must-haves as your tools for aging vibrantly. They help protect your heart, calm inflammation, keep your mind sharp,
and provide those crucial nutrients your body really needs, especially over 60.
Because feeling good as you age isn't just luck. It involves making conscious, smarter choices about how we move, how we manage stress, and absolutely about what we eat. And your pantry. It's such an accessible place to start taking back some control.
It really empowers you to make a difference in your own health, starting right in your kitchen.
It does. So if you found this deep dive helpful, please give us a find out. It really helps others find this information, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already.
We've got another deep dive coming up soon, all about building the best anti-inflammatory grocery list specifically for seniors.
Ooh, that sounds great. We'll give you loads of practical tips for navigating the supermarket, making smarter choices aisle by aisle, and really taking charge of your health journey.
You'll look at your shopping cart differently.
We hope so. Your next grocery trip could be a real turning point, definitely for the better. Thanks for tuning in.